program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Phi and Golf. Now, just to start off the second break here, I have, again, interesting news for sure. Now, we have heard a lot about narcotics and such. This time, apparently, these particular gang members, not really involving with narcotics, but of course you've seen various police checkpoints these days. They're looking for a few things, but not one thing in particular. However, in Bang Lamung of Chonburi province, there has been a report last night of two gang members in particular driving to the, and of course, to the police checkpoint and ended up doing something that, being very suspicious, they stopped. They wouldn't drive through the checkpoint. They
just
back up.
there?
They backed up the car really fast and they turned and they start to drove away. So
not too suspicious.
Exactly. So when you do that, so obviously the police just kind of like, well, maybe they weren't gonna do anything in the beginning, so they did. So the 4 or 5 officers chasing around this particular car. Now, it was actually bumped into 4 cars that was parked on the side of the road. And finally, the police have to shot the tire to make sure that this particular sedan stopped. When the 2 of the officials went in to try to arrest the 2 culprits, they actually drove the car into these 2 officials, and they ended up having to shoot the particular culprits. Now, 2 of them both actually got hit by this particular shooting. Kun Hemarat Sao, age 25, and Kun Chok Chai Hom Sombat, age 32. Now, they said that they were finally arrested for carrying out arms without licenses in the public places. And apparently they didn't really have anything except for the guns, that if they didn't use it or if they didn't do anything about it, it's probably would not be as bad. So right now they ended up injured 2 officials, which caused them, being arrested anyways. They also drove and destroyed 4 cars that was parked on the side, and there you go, got caught and got to go to jail now.
So more allegations against them, more than
than just get through the checkpoint, really.
Well, they got driver's license at the moment, or something.
I'm not sure.
Going on.
Exactly. We're not sure why. That's all the news reported, that they didn't really find anything except for those guns that they actually used against the officials.
Okay.
All right.
Well, moving on to something that happened yesterday. The Prime Minister has were presented at the events in Ayutthaya province, as it was the National Day of Drug.
Right, the narcotics.
Yesterday, a total of more than 3 tons of narcotics, illicit drugs, illegal drugs that were confiscated over the past years were destroyed, incinerated, all at once yesterday morning after the court cases reached their final verdicts.
Yeah,
and you know how much the drugs were valued?
Well, I think it's a lot, because me and Kun Tulip has been reporting drugs over and over. I mean, and we talk about, in tons. So 3 tons,
10 billion baht.
10 billion baht.
Yes.
That
10 billion baht narcotic. They were flown in helicopters to the utility in Bangpa-in industrial estate in Ayutthaya province from the warehouses.
How do they destroy it?
They
burn it? Wouldn't the fume cause you to become high afterward?
No, I heard it's 850 degrees Celsius, so causing no pollution to the environment.
Okay, that's good. But yeah, we've seen a lot of these cases, and that's the thing, that's a lot of drugs.
Right, and there's still more kept in the warehouses of the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration.
I think a lot of drugs dealers and obviously all these drug addicts would be very disappointed to see that.
Well, all the drugs were comprised of 31 million methamphetamine pills, weighing more than 2.7 tons and almost 300 kilograms of crystal meth, 125 kilograms of heroin, 17 kilograms of cocaine, and 4 kilograms of drug ecstasy.
I don't know.
It's the annual burning.
Right.
We do this every year as the
a ritual.
International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking.
Okay, which is good. Like I don't know if anywhere else would do this kind of ritual though, like burning all these drugs. But
And
interesting
yes, as I
enough.
said, there was still 28 tons more in the warehouses of
So
the
this is
FDA.
just to show off, kind of thing.
No, they were waiting, pending for the court decision for their cases.
Oh, okay. But
I've got more numbers from the National Command Center for Drugs. They said authorities have confiscated 7.8 tons of drugs in 2012, which is increasing from the year 2010 at 80%, which is good. 80%.
yeah, that we be able to confiscate.
Confiscate.
Yeah. It's not
But that
good.
means
like the
a lot of
volume.
a lot of narcotics are spreading in this country more and more.
Either that or the production seems to be a lot faster and in more volume. That's why we caught more.
And one interesting number: 2 million drug addicts in Thailand alone. 2 million.
That we know of, that's the thing.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of drug abuser out there. Now it will be interesting because obviously I'm going to talk about the whole rice mill thing. And they say that there has been a lot of reports about smuggling of the rice that has been under.
Missing, stolen.
Exactly. So who knows in the storage, the drugs might be seen some of the cases as well. Now, like I said, there has been a report, and obviously the government knows about this, the whole rice pledging scheme, and how the rice that has been, already in the process of getting the farmers getting the money, the rice is in the storage, in the mill, so on and so forth. Well, they say that right now the police are going to investigate on this particular case. They say that they will send in officials to look into 2,506 mills altogether that actually under the program for rice pledging scheme and starting starting today. They say that this will be within 50 provinces altogether. The province officials will be the one that heading all this operation, including the police, the commerce ministry officials, the treasury ministry as well. Now they say that they will send in about 10 officials to each of the mill to investigate, and they have forms already for the survey form, so on and so forth, to be able to assess all this mill, whether or not they actually meet the particular requirements when they talk about the number of rice that they say that they have received from the farmers versus the money versus whatever left in the mill. And they hope that it will be able to conclude by the end of the day. Now, they also talk about the particular case where about 5% or more, almost like 5-10% of the rice that say that it was supposed to be there has been reported missing. So if you're talking in tons, 5 to 10% from tons, that's a lot. Exactly. Now they say that there are reports of some mills that say that they has been burnt down due to a fire. Yeah, there's some fire, the mill burnt down, so on and so forth. Now the police said that it could go through two ways. It's either, it's a tragic accident or it's a cover-up.
Right.
Because, well, I don't have any
Who
more
knows?
rice. Yeah, I don't have any rice anymore. So the best thing to do is just to burn it down. So they say that they will look into that as well. And that lead you to the situation in Phichit province where the mill reported missing rice, like the entire mill was empty. Now, Kun Amnat,
Entire meal.
yeah, the Kun Amnat
Could
did Satien, the owner of Tha Khao Hua Dong, mill, has already been arrested and has been talking to the officials because He is the owner of Al Gold Manufacture Company, which is a mill locating in Pichit province. Now, they say that Munin Jantra, age 43, is another associate of his that the police is currently looking to, because Kun Munin has already have 3 cases against him in Pichit, talking about this stealing rice from the mill itself, because a lot of farmers has been reported that. Now they say that in Pichit province, over 100 of the farmers had went into the to talk to the police and press charges against Kun Amnat Disatien, the owner of this mill, saying that their rice has been missing, they haven't been paid, so on and so forth. And in Chayapum province, same thing. They say that there has been a forgery of signature of the officials at the mill to try to get the money from the farmers, but not really selling the rice or keeping the rice at this point. So there has been a lot of cases for sure in this particular rice pledging scheme.
Right, I bet we're seeing more investigation, more cover-ups, more discovery, because this particular scheme involves a lot of factors: middlemen, farmers, government, someone in the provincial offices, a lot of corruption, huge sums of money going around.
Exactly, and I think it's a lack of a good assessment or a process that would be able to check and balance this particular whole operation. That's create even more problem and a loophole for corruption to happen.
And last week, the Wall Street Journal just came out and criticized this campaign, this particular scheme.
Right.
So going on to the next saga we've got here in Thailand, the monk scandal. I just said yesterday about pictures of 6 monks circulating on the internet. They were
So
seen,
not the scandalous monk that we talked about earlier, Kun Nen Kam, Lung Pu Nen Kam.
not
No,
Lung Pu Nen Kam. 6
more monks. That's nice.
More monks, 6 more monks seen out shopping in the United States, buying brand name smartphones, and also having steak for dinner.
Dinner. You're not supposed to have dinner.
Steak for dinner.
That's I know for sure.
Yeah, right. That's in front of the Universal in the United States, and
Right.
Already the
Lobster too. How nice.
The Director General of the National Office of Buddhism here in Thailand has already looked into this matter. However, he said this 6 months behavior are just indecent and not composed, but they're not break any serious offenses of the monastic regulations.
They're checking on their phones, their
Right?
smartphones. I think they're updating photos or something.
Oh.
Or chatting. Who knows? Wow.
See, Louis Vuitton brand name stores. The office of the Buddhism here said they will look into to determine the actions to be taken against the monks seen in the photos, and they will meet on Friday to discuss the matter. We're not sure yet who the 6 monks are and what are they doing in the States. However, how come these pictures are up on the internet?
Well, the thing is, I think it should be, on internet, and I'm glad it did, and I'm pretty sure it's they themselves that actually uploaded it. The thing is, and I always, I say this with sincere respect, that all the followers of the monks, you have a lot. Sometimes, even in my family, we have the monk that we look up to, so on and so forth, that we go to. However, the thing is, don't go overboard. Don't cross the line.
Right.
It's good that you admire them, and I'm pretty sure that these group of monks probably have some good parts, that maybe a good preaching, so on and so forth, that they will be able to talk
That's
to.
why
they
they're so
admire.
famous. They're
That
respected.
they have a followers. But the thing is, the important part about this is not to shower them with all this, and don't encourage them, because I know a lot of monks receive a lot of things from followers. You have the right to say no, just like any of us. Because if our friend give us drugs and we know it's not good for us, we just say no. Same thing as a monk. I think it's their responsibility to actually say no.
Right.
But to go and shopping at a fancy brand name, place. I didn't get that. That was just horrible.
Doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Nidapo has already reviewed survey and say some Thai people still think this particular behavior are not inappropriate. It's still okay because society is changing. They are adjusted to the changing of lifestyle, the environment.
That's fine, but then if you're not able to pull yourself away from the
Just leave
sin
monkhood.
of exactly, just leave it. You don't, because this is embarrassing to see you put on a rope and you go around, and
Right.
the thing is, in North America or other other religion would not understand, and we won't understand either as Buddhists. That just disrespectful. Now, talking about the monk, we cannot not talk about หลวงปู่เนรคำ of course, and we said yesterday that they say that who knows, maybe he will be in a helicopter coming back here, but obviously at this point there has been more of the scandals coming out saying that หลวงปู่ has been preaching a lot. Obviously a lot of people taped that particular preaching, and one of them is talking about พระอินทร์ which is one of the gods in Buddhist kind of beliefs, so on and so forth. It ties with Hinduism as well. Now they said that หลวงปู่เนรคำ claimed that he actually in contact with พระอินทร์ however his followers come out and say no, it was the name of a monk, because พระ means monk in Thai, and in is just his name. So พระอินทร์ actually wasn't replying the gods in as we speak, not the spirits. Is an actual person. However, we know, like when we listen to excuses like this, that it just is excuses, like really. Because
Right.
When you say something like that, you're insulting a lot of people's intelligence, and obviously I think his behavior right now is actually need to be looked into, because the thing is, we don't want to encourage it, and we want to make sure that all the monks, I think this is great that the pictures come out viral, because this is the time to actually revamp the entire religions like Buddhism here in Thailand, because you can't make excuses anymore. A lot of people lost a lot of faith. Some we know that in the past few years have diverted to other religion, and I believe that more or less this would probably be one of the reason, because if the person who preached the particular teaching are not living up to the standard or follow the footsteps as what they're preaching, then the followers just kind of like, who am I to believe? You lost the faith. At least I do anyway.
Okay, hang in there. We're still keeping you posted with a
Right.
lot of story of tales regarding this particular monk หลวงปู่เนรคำ
Right.
I've heard he's able to change forms to old man to
That's
young boy.
That's another
Seriously.
interesting news, that's for sure. Now,
Okay.
Kun Phai, I think let's take a short break, and then we'll come back with a few more of the interesting news. And of course, we have cabinet reshuffle for you, or a speculation on it at least.
Just a speculation.
So stay tuned.